Good morning, everyone. Hi. So, I am Hussain Nagaria. I am a product evangelist slash engineer at Frappe. And in this presentation, so everybody till now has talked about ERP Next. I'm going to not talk about ERP Next and the other stuff that we have. So, what is Frappe has to offer beyond ERP Next, right? The ecosystem. So, some of you might know me from a YouTube channel I run, which is Build with Hussain, where I weekly build some stuff live using Frappe framework, Frappe UI, React, etc. So that's that. So ERP Next, right? So everybody knows ERP Next, the big, the flagship product we build. But that's just one piece of the whole system we have, right? Which I call the Frappe operating system, right? It's not just one thing, ERP Next. ERP Next is just one of the apps in the whole in the whole operating system of Frappe. So the thing that ERP Next builds on top of is Frappe framework, right? So when you say ERP Next is highly customizable, you can add new stuff. Actually, ERP Next in itself does not bring these capabilities. Because it is built on top of Frappe framework, it has those functionalities. And you can even leverage Frappe framework without using ERP Next, right? So it's independent. It's a low-code, no-code framework. I call it a hybrid framework because it's low-code, no-code, and it's also full code. When you want to build your own custom apps, Python backend, any front end you want, you can do that, right? So it's very flexible in that sense. So this is the part, like this screenshot I added when the video Ankita was trying to play was not played. So this is the form builder. So everything in Frappe is a doc type. Like I have given a quick crash course a day before at Ahi Hub. So I have recorded it. I will post it on YouTube if you want to check that out. But doc type is the main thing. So low code, no code, Frappe framework, right? So this form builder lets you build the entities and the metadata around it. So how it connects with other doc types, how it is rendered, how it looks when you do CRUD operations. So this is how even the sales invoice is built, right? Or the quotation doc type. All are these doc types in Frappe framework. So this is Frappe framework. And then recently, right, we started building new products, right? Apart from ERP Next, their own independent products that I will show right now, but there we required a user interface that was not desk, right? This is desk. This is the admin interface you get when you log into ERP Next, Frappe HR. So this is like every page looks the same, has list view, form view, but we wanted something tailored, right? So game plan, for example, that is one product we have built for async communication, right? We use it for our internal discussions, etc. So we needed something that we can use to build those polished front ends, right? So we chose Vue.js and then we built Frappe UI, which is a set of polished components, pre-built components, buttons, tabs that you can use. It is also 100% open source that you can use along with Frappe framework to build custom front ends. So suppose you want to completely start from scratch and build a order management system or something like that, right? So you have Frappe UI. Of course, without any mention, it is 100% false. You can self-host. But yeah, so this gave birth to a team at Frappe called Labs, right? So when we have Frappe framework, Frappe UI, anyone can build a new product, right? So Labs started with a group of product owners, we call them. So one person builds a new product, and there are a lot of products right now that are in the labs. They are being built, and some of them have even launched V1 and even V2, right? So I'm going to show you a few of them, right? So these are again apps that have been built using Frappe framework and Frappe UI. So they sit well on any instance. If you have ERP Next instance, you can install them, right? Cool. So this is like my own dashboard that I have built using Frappe Insights. So Frappe Insights is a business intelligence analytics tool. So it lets you connect your data sources, suppose Postgres, MariaDB, even other ERP Next instances, or the actual site on which you have installed the insights, and lets you build beautiful dashboards, charts, even notifications. You can set notifications. So yeah, this is just a glimpse. So I even have a live demo running here. I did an episode like just before coming to Nairobi, a day before we did a live stream on just this. So this is the insights interface, and this is one of the queries. Okay, you connected your sales database, right? And then you selected a table. I want to summarize the transactions table, and then you can apply filters, and it will give you nice visualizations which you can customize. Suppose you don't want a table and you want a line chart or a bar chart, and then once you have this chart, right, you can compose dashboards like let's see, sales dashboard, for example, right? So this is dashboard. You can apply interactive filters, right? So it applies on the charts. Suppose you don't want any filter, so you remove and the revenue increase, right? So it is unfiltered revenue. But yeah, these are just a few examples of what you can do, but I think you get the idea. So for use cases, you can think, oh, okay, you install it along with ERP Next or on a separate site and connect your ERP Next instances. You can connect multiple of those and then join among them. That's possible too. So yeah, this was Frappe Insights. Let's get back. Okay. The next is Frappe Builder, right? We released V1 on 1st Jan, and this is like one of the most polished and sophisticated products, in my opinion, at Frappe. It lets you build websites, web pages, build and publish them visually. It's just like you are designing, but you are actually building a website. So it offers responsive layout. So for example, in this case, Suraj rebuilt my Build with Hussain website in Builder, right? Which I did like hours. He took like 30 minutes, I guess, and he built it in front of me. But yeah, so you don't have to write any code. And plus this episodes, you see that, right? The list of episodes, it fetches from the Frappe backend. So suppose you want to build a team page. You already have the employees list, you fetch it. And then you can create a common component which renders. So it has those advanced features as well. So use Frappe as a CMS, build dynamic websites. Yeah, all using. So we are also, recently we launched this Frappe.io website, right? Many of you might have seen if you landed that this got a revamp, and this whole thing is built using Frappe Builder, right? So my favorite page is this one. And then, so this is a bonus one in between. So this is Print Designer, because I know in ERP Next, right, you might want to design some print formats for sales invoice or anything like that, right? So recently so earlier it used to be low code, no code as well, but it was not flexible as this one. So this takes a similar approach to the builder. You drag and drop your stuff, you arrange it in a free space, and that's your print format. You can pull in dynamic data, right? You can pull in your, so suppose in this example, I can pull in a barcode, attach it to the print, right? So it dynamically generates barcode every time you print a different document. Yeah, this was a spoiler, okay. That's fine. So this was Print Designer. It lets you design print formats for your documents. Next up, we have Frappe CRM. So last week, we started using it internally, and in the coming months, it will be stable as well, and it will be ready for production. But this is the current state, right? Don't try to call any of those numbers, by the way. So this is Frappe CRM, and you will notice a similar vibe among all the products, right? If you even see Builder or this, even the buttons. So this is Frappe UI I was talking about, right? It gives you a set of components, so you don't have to start working on 20 pixel margins for the buttons, right? So this, in the current state of Frappe CRM, it has calls, built-in integration for calls, so you can directly make calls. It records the calls, right? So if I have the instance here, yeah. So Sharik called me, right? So I can hear the call recording. right? And then make a call from here. I guess I'm not allowed to, maybe. But yeah, you can make a call, it records the call, and you can have leads, deals, contacts, right? And you can pin views. Okay, some salesperson only wants their deals to be viewed. They can create new views. My open deals, it has a nice sort filter. You can rearrange columns, notifications, yeah. And this is just the beginning, by the way. So a lot more to come. Cool. So, yeah. So yeah, so bringing everything together, right? So where does like apps fit in and ERP next fit in and Frappe framework comes in? So everything comes down to like starting from zero, right? I have nothing at one point in moment. I want to start my own Frappe site with ERP next and this apps, right? The Frappe cloud is the easiest. So you just visit frappecloud.com, right? Of course, this all is self-hostable, by the way. And then you create a site there from the UI. So you create a site, you give it a domain name, and once the site is created, you get a running Frappe or ERP Next instance, which is live to the world, by the way. No Nginx, no like, you know, right? If you have self-hosted, you will know that you have to set up some proxy, there's that, but it is live on the, what do you say, internet. You can share the URL with others. And then what all apps are in the ecosystem, right? They are already in the marketplace and they are accessible to you in Frappe Cloud. So here I have installed Insights. I have my own apps that I have created, for example, BWH tools. I have a whiteboard app that I made live. So you can use the apps that I showed you, build your own apps and integrations and add those here, right? And it all works. And if you see, read the tab labels, you will see there are a lot of features that I can show, but since we are low on time, you can ask any questions you have later as well, so I can give you a quick demo whenever you need. So you have custom domains, analytics, backups, right? Automated backups, automated offsite backups. There is site configuration you can directly do from here. Yeah. Backup, you can directly access the database, SSH connection, everything is there. So you can get a view of how is my site performing, how is the usage. So many times you want to decide, right, whether I'm on the right plan or not, so on and so forth. So where do you learn more? So this was just a tiny bit of glimpse, but I will suggest you start at frappe.io and then you can visit from there frappeframework.com. If you want to learn about the framework, you can visit frappeui.com. All have their corresponding GitHub repositories as well. So if you want to look at the source code, maybe create an issue if you start using it, right? Then there is Frappe School, as Ankita talked about. We have a lot of courses there as well, and we are also running live batches. So Frappe Framework training certification, there is ERP Next training and certification. Then you can also visit my website for all the previous episodes that I have done. And of course, GitHub. So yeah, thanks everyone. Questions? No. So this has been completely rewritten. So it's from scratch. So even Frappe HR, right? So one of the reasons is maintainability. So if you want clear code ownership, right? Okay. Frappe HR in itself is a separate product. You can think of it, right? It has its own modules. It has payroll and this and that. So it made sense to keep it as a separate app. Even in the general sense, right? When you say ERP, so it has a lot of components around, but you can see around and you will see there are HR software that are separate, right? Without even accounting. So in that sense also it makes sense. If someone wants to run just the CRM, not the accounting module, why would they install the whole ERP next thing, right? So in terms of customers and users also it makes sense. That okay, if I just want the CRM, why would I? Yeah, you can install, right? It's just a Frappe site and then you install apps. Just as I mentioned, operating system kind of. Yeah.
Maybe a question that builds upon that one.
Yeah.
Let's say on the CRM part, maybe in a version you now already have leads and opportunities. Do they then migrate now to the new
Yeah.
CRM?
So we migrated recently and there will be scripts. that you can run to migrate your own stuff. Yeah. So Sharik has been thinking of that way, that easily it should be migratable from the old CRM because many are already using it. Yeah. Scalability in the sense like if number of users increases, right, or the usage increases basically. So there is no like automatic scaling in the sense in Frappe Cloud, but there are no restriction as well. So there is no okay you can create this many users and beyond that you can't. There is no restriction. But the only like metric Frappe Cloud tracks is like memory and CPU. So you can choose a higher plan when you think okay we have hit a limit and the system has slowed down. Maybe you can find some metric. I don't know if you talk to raise a support ticket or something. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So you can watch the analytics and decide for yourself, right? Okay, like these are the queries that are slow. Whether my custom app is doing it or do I need to really upgrade, right? So all those advanced analytics are also there in Frappe Cloud. Yeah. So that will help you make decisions. Yeah. Yeah, the BA tool. Yeah. Yeah. So if you, what version you are on? Yeah, 14 it works. 14 plus Insight works. So you just go, if you have self-hosted or on Frappe Cloud. So you just do bench, get app, this and that and install it on your site. That's it. Yeah. Cool. Yeah. Way at the back.
Thank you. So my question is on the traffic cloud.
Mm-hmm.
There's been a concern with regards to accessing the bench specifically for the first tier hosting package that you guys have.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of a limitation because
Yeah.
you tend to find there's some customizations that are done. You probably need to access the bench once you post it. So is that something you've had before, and is there something you guys can do about it?
So I think you're talking about the $10 plan.
Yes,
So those are shared benches. So what the site you get, right? Like it not be just your bench, right? It will be like one bench has 100 sites. Your maybe 3-4 customers. So we can't give them, can't give you access of that bench. That's the reason. And since bench is compute intensive, that's why we have to go like just one plan above, and then you can host as many sites on your private bench. Then you get SSH access, so you can go into the bench. You can enable server scripts, so on and so forth.
Thank you very much. One of the most interesting things to happen in the Frappe universe in the recent times is breaking up of the whole ERP nest into different components. We already have the Frappe framework, and then now we're moving from a monolithic system into different small parts here and there. So I don't know if there's a clear roadmap. We've seen it being broken up. We have healthcare, we have, just like you mentioned, we have healthcare, we have
CRM.
the CRM, just like I've seen. We have the one for
HR.
HR, and so on and so forth. So my question is, what can we expect to see, and how fast? Because I think this is very, very exciting. We don't want to deliver a whole system. We want to deliver systems that actually pinpoint or focus on what the market needs. So how fast can we expect this to happen to the entire system? Secondly, what will we end up with at the end of the day? Will we end up with bare bones, Frappe, and then we start installing different modules from scratch? Or if there's anybody who can probably tell us what's the roadmap for that one?
I think Rishabh started the talk with we don't have roadmaps.
Or we will do it as we move along.
Yeah, so it when it makes sense, right? When the product owner uh, wants, so suppose someone comes and says, okay, manufacturing should be a separate thing, right? And they have some vision, okay, this is how the product should look like. They'll start working on it, and then it will happen. So not so fast, but it will.
Thank you. We would really love to see finance and inventory and other modules sitting on their own.
Cool. Cool. Thank you everyone.